All right, so today what we're going to be breaking down are these two cooling units. These are KKW cooling units. These things are manufactured in Germany, and I looked them up and I found there was one for sale on eBay, but it was in Poland, and they were trying to sell it for 750 euros, or which translates to about $850 American money. Now, I don't know that I could sell these things because I have no idea if they work or not. These things came from a surplus store. They're old, and apparently they couldn't sell them, and they went out of business, and I got them at an auction, and I paid for the both of them $18.40. So we're going to break them down and see if we can't maybe double our money on that. Try to turn that into closer to $40. I'm guessing that there's going to be some copper and some brass, as usual in cooling units, a radiator, and we're going to try to see how much money we can make. All right, let's go ahead and weigh one of these up and see how much they weigh. All right, we're going to set one off to the side. We're just going to work on one at a time here. So let me get this one off to the side. Okay, so we're at 0. And it comes in at 79 pounds. 79 pounds. All right, let's go ahead and tear it apart. All right, there we go. Well, so far it's looking pretty good. It looks like we got a lot of copper here. We got some big old hunk of brass right here. Another big chunk of brass. Got this little motor right here. Question is it enough to get our money back? We're gonna find out. right, so we got the motor taken off the machine. Looks like it's got a aluminum housing here. A steel cover. All right, we'll work on this later here. Got a bunch of steel here. Let's get this copper taken apart and cleaned up. That's brass. Oh yeah, that's all brass. All right, got all the insides out of that. That's a nice clean piece of brass after I take these hoses off. All right, so we got us a nice little bucket of brass here. Nice little bucket of copper and a little bit of stainless steel. Let's go ahead and break this motor down here. I think this will be a pretty quick one. Shouldn't take too long. All right, let's test and see if that's copper. Yes, sir. That is copper. You see the difference there? All right, while I'm working on this, let's check and see what Charlotte's doing. She's doing some like really tedious stuff. She's what we had was a bunch of this wire. I don't know what you call it. I've never seen it before, but it's a Teflon coated plastic, and at the ends of it you can see there's like 8 slots of different sized wire that was in there. So I pulled those wires out, and they kind of pulled out pretty easy, and then you end up with this kind of wire right here, and this is all we got left. And it's Teflon coated, so you got to unravel the Teflon off of it, and then you get this. This is actually copper that is wound around 2 smaller wires, or some of them have 4 wires in it. And so what you got to do is you just unravel this wire right here, or the Teflon off of it. You know, I spin it as I'm pulling the Teflon, and it just pulls right off. This is the same kind of Teflon that you wrap your water pipes with. I've never seen this kind of wire before, but it's not hard to do. It's just, the process is just a little bit lengthy. So then once you get to this point here, you get all the Teflon off of it. It's real simple. You just pull down on that copper there, and it pulls right off. So then you got 2 little wires here. Some of them have 4 wires in them, some of them have 2, and then you got this is all copper. So we separate them. Now I asked the scrapyard what they'd pay for this, and they told me 65 cents. And I was like, no, because we already took some of it apart. And like I said, it's not that hard to get apart. It's just time consuming, but you know, Charlotte don't mind doing it. She's sitting here doing it for a while. And we end up with this wire right here. You know, like some of it has 2 wires, some of it has, some of it's thicker wires, some of it's thinner. It's just all different size wires inside that. This one here has 4 around it. And they paid us 65 cents for this alone right here. So we separated all that copper out of it. So we did the math by weighing it through the poundage. And pays far better doing it this way. So that's what Charlotte's been doing. Is it easy to do that?
Yeah. The white one, not so much.
Pulling that Teflon off? Yeah.
I don't like that one.
But the copper, pulling that copper off them wires, that's pretty easy.
Yeah. This one.
Think you're making any money on it?
I don't know. I'm going to weigh it and see.
All right, let's weigh up and see what we got. We only have just a little bit left there. Let's weigh up what we got right here. Man, that weighs pretty good. All right, let's get a scale up. We'll just zero this bucket out. A few pounds. Yeah, put that wire up there. That other bucket. All right. What do we got? 8 pounds of wire. So just wire alone. 8 pounds of that. All right, so we're at 0. All right. It just tears out now. Oh, wow, look at that. 8 pounds of copper. All right, let's get back to that cooler. All right, so see one motor broke down, you see them all, right? All right, so we went ahead and pulled all the copper out of the windings out of that stator. The stator practically broke apart. I mean, I did split it with a machete down the middle, but then the thing just fell apart in big chunks, pieces. So it really wasn't that bad. So we got a little bit of steel here, and then all this, the housing is all aluminum. So we got a nice chunk of aluminum to add to our collection. So we'll go ahead and figure out if there's any value on any of this stuff here. Like this is all steel. Oh, here's the rotor. Put that over here. Oh yeah, we got a radiator here. There's some brass and some copper on that. All right, let's see what we can do with this radiator. Piece of copper. Yeah, that's brass. I don't know if it's all brass. That's all brass. Huh.
German engineering.
Charlotte says German engineering. Yeah, that's brass. All these fins. Yeah, the fins are copper. Huh. That's a good find in there. Unexpected. All right, so that's
How much does it weigh?
I don't know, this thing, let me weigh it real quick. Turn that scale on there, Charlotte. I bet it weighs 5 pounds. 5 pounds. That was close. 11.6. All right, that is a good find. We'll throw this over here in our brass bucket. Put it close to it. All right, see what else we got over here. I think it's just all, the rest is just all steel. Oh, looks like we got a little fan in here. Yeah, our little motor there. It's copper. All right, so a nice little extra handful of copper we weren't expecting. That's good. All right, so I got everything all separated out and we ended up with some wire, aluminum, shred, copper, and some brass. And a little bit of stainless steel, but I'm not gonna worry about it. All right, so the first thing we're gonna weigh up the wire right here. So I've got this bucket on here and that's all teared out. Not a whole lot of wire, but comes up to 0.85 pounds of wire. Okay, I got a little bit of aluminum. I've already got that teared out. All right, so here's our bucket of aluminum. Not too bad. 4.05. All right, so here's the shred. All right, so I got to take off 3.25 for the bucket weight, and this is all the shred. And it comes in at 50.85 pounds minus 3.25 pounds. That's 47 and 55. All right, so here's all the copper that we got. It's nice, hefty. I'm gonna take 2/10 off of the tub. So we're zeroed out. And not too bad, I guess. 3.55 pounds. And the brass. Let's start off with this radiator. I'm just gonna turn this in as brass. I don't know how I would get all them fins out of there. That's, you can see the construction on that. And you can see it's copper. All right, let's put this on here. All right, that's a pretty good deal right there. So all that brass comes in at 16.25 pounds. All right, let me add these numbers up and we'll get back to you. Okay, so I got the final results here, and we paid $18.40 for this lot, and the wire that we got, 0.85 pounds at $1.25, comes to $1.06. The aluminum, 4.05 pounds at 60 cents a pound, is $2.43. The shred was 47.55 pounds at 6 cents a pound. It's $2.85. And then the copper, 3.55 pounds at $3.90 comes to $13.85. And the brass, 16.25 at $2.35 come to $38.19. Now, if you remember, I was talking at the beginning of this video, I'd just like to get $40 or something because we paid $18.40 for it. The brass, we're almost there. But we come with a grand total of $58.38. Now, it even gets better because we only broke one of those down. So we got to multiply that by 2. We come up to $116.76. Yeah, I still haven't broke this one down, but we know this is exactly the same thing, so we're gonna get the same amount of money out of that. All right, so $116 we come up with that lot. Now that lot came with an auction that we went to a while ago, and we've been slowly trying to include those breakdowns into videos. And if you remember, we spent a total of like almost $800 at that auction. And if you remember the video where we did the wire and we got pretty much our money back out of that auction from that wire alone. So everything that we're doing now is just extra money. So this $116, that's just extra money. That wire that Charlotte was breaking down, that was included in that wire. But like I said, it was this weird wire that we didn't know what to do with, and so we just decided to break it down, and we weighed that up, and that was 8 pounds of copper and 8 pounds of wire. Charlotte finished it out, and it ended up with 10 pounds of copper, so an additional 2 pounds, and then an additional 0.45 pounds of that wire. And so that's extra money on top of it. And so I guess that concludes this video. We hope you enjoyed it, and we've got to get our scrap to the scrapyard so we can get paid. So thank you for watching. Anything to say, Charlotte?
I had fun doing it.
Okay.
Tedious but fun.
Tedious but fun. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.